Okay, so I've got the Pixel 5 here. I've had it sitting here, like, turned off for quite a while, so you can see it's at 90%. Well, not quite. It should be somewhat clear now if, like, my Pixel 7 will focus that I'm using as a webcam in OBS. But what I'm going to do is I've got the, web installer for GrapheneOS pulled up. And we're going to go through the steps and set up GrapheneOS and kind of get a good look at, Graphene and the things that it has in it. So, again, I've gone from this Pixel 5 to a Pixel 7. And so it's got some pretty basic stuff on it. And so all we should have to do, hopefully, is go through and do a couple of, like, things and then go from there. So the first thing, obviously, is we've got to do some OEM unlocking. We go into our settings. And then, let's see, what is it? System. Developer options. OEM unlocking. Enter the PIN. And then we're good to go. Okay. So now that we've got that, I think we should be fine. We've got the Android UDEV stuff booting into the bootloader interface. Okay, so all we have to do now is power off. Okay. Okay, so it's connected to the computer. Unlock bootloader. Pixel 5, connect. Okay, so we unlock the bootloader. Like stall. Okay, so they do still have the red fin. Good, good, very nice. And they have updated it in the last few days. So it's been updated in the last week. So we will be getting the latest GrapheneOS release as of this. Again, I've been using CalyxOS on the Pixel 7 here that we are using for showing here. And so all we have to do is wait for this to finish up. Okay, we are like little notches, pixels away from, finishing up here in a second. So now, okay, okay, we got it downloaded. So now we should, yep. So now it goes through the process here. So if you're doing it manually, it's going to go through and you do this stuff yourself, whereas this makes it easy. So it's just literally click the button, click the button, click the button, click the button at this point. So now we just wait. So Graphene still gets updates apparently for the Pixel 5. I may decide to switch SIM card into Pixel 5 for a little bit. We shall see. But I definitely think I want to try carrying it around for a little bit to see how it does and some of the other things with it. Because I know with it, you can do like user sandboxing basically, for Google Play services to keep those separate. Your other option, depending on, well, with CalyxOS, is microG being built in. You've got some sandboxing features that way that kind of work with it. So, let's see. It's still going to continue working, but... So, that would be something interesting because it would be... microG is definitely, I think, added more functionality for things like games so that you can actually like verify your licenses for games and whatnot all through Google. But Graphene sandboxes all of Google Play services into one thing. microG kind of halfway integrates with your operating system in some things while also eliminating a lot of the stuff that for tracking for it. I'm not sure what... I don't remember what Graphene does for Google Play services when you install it to basically obfuscate the data that is collected from the phone itself. So, because I know what microG will do is it will generate a random number and create basically a random device to send to Google for your device data, rather than giving the actual device that you're running off of. So it'll be interesting to see how that works out. I do have a number of Bluetooth headphones, let's see, that I run on the phone because convenience and wires sometimes get in the way. And obviously this Pixel doesn't have a headphone jack, so it requires something like a dongle to make it work. So it's kind of like, yeah. So let's see. Still doing the graphene writing stuff, but yeah. Obviously, depending on your internet connection, the download is going to take longer or shorter. I skipped that bit so you didn't have to deal with like sitting here and waiting with me for like a whole 2-3 minutes. So I cut that much out, but yeah. This one, I've got it hooked in via USB-A to USB-C through an Anker hub. So that may be affecting some of the write speed that's going on, but maybe minimal. Should be pretty comparative timing for writing and all that. Let's see. Disable OEM, verify installation, boot key hashes. Still writing, still doing that stuff. It is a large image, apparently. So, but we are a distance through it. Now, one thing to also note is that GrapheneOS does not have like Signal and WhatsApp integrated in essence into the Contacts app. So like, for example, on CalyxOS on the Pixel 7, if I were to hit a contact and go for a call or even possibly to send a message, it would be able to go through WhatsApp or Signal and, cross-reference that phone number with an account that could exist in there, and then give me that option to do a call or send a message that way. Whereas with Graphene, they don't have any of that integration at all inside of like any of the contacts or anything. Although they do use a fork of Chromium. What did I break it? I hope not. They do have a fork of Chromium called Vanadium and a couple other apps that they've forked themselves that are more private. Some of these apps you can get on the Play Store for your other devices that you don't have Graphene installed on, and use it that way. So like, for example, the GrapheneOS camera app I have installed on my Pixel just for fun as well. And then there's also the, which one is it? I can't think of it. there's another one that is in there that they've done. They've got a PDF viewer and so on. So now we can lock the bootloader. We lock the bootloader. Bootloader locked. And now it should boot up. Okay, so we shouldn't have to pause anything. Okay, so it's warning us that a screen should come up on first boot about OEM unlocking, so we can relock the Pixel. There's our fancy GrapheneOS screen. Much like Calyx, it uses the Graphene logo rather than the Calyx logo, but it has the same gray, white, shimmery thing going on. Okay. So later on, I may unlock OEM unlocking again, just due to the fact that I'm going to probably want to put, what is it? Lineage on it. I was gonna say cyanogen mod, but no, that's not here. It's LineageOS, not cyanogen mod. We can connect to Wi-Fi. We select our Wi-Fi and connect up as appropriate. And of course, we have that cool jitter from the keyboard. Go to next. We want to pick our, where is it? Come on. Denver. Everything else is right. Yeah. Just about right. We'll leave location services on for fun. Okay, and then we've got our pixel imprint that it asks us about. So yeah, let's see. So Calyx and Graphene both do this with the pixel imprint. Stores the data for your fingerprints on your phone, and yeah. Okay, so now we can do that. We can skip restoring apps. Let's see. Skip that. So here's our OEM unlocking one. So it's in the first setup. We can disable OEM unlocking and go there and start. And so here's our default experience. Let us go in System, Gestures. Let's do 3-button navigation. Yeah, that's good enough. Okay, so let's see. We've got our basic black screen, wallpaper and style. Change wallpaper. Literally, that's it for the wallpapers. Dang. Okay, so we could go in and change it later if we wanted to. Let's see. Oh, we'll stick with that color. What's the lock screen look like? Basic black. Okay. So here's our Vanadium, our camera, our messages, our phone. Let's see. Apps, auditor, calculator, camera, clock, contacts, files, gallery, messaging, PDF viewer. So like I said, phone, settings, Vanadium. So let's go to the PDF viewer. It's got nothing here, but this is their secure PDF viewer that you can run. So it's pretty much your basic Android. Let's see, messages. Okay, so yep. It would have been cool to keep the same aesthetic, like the dark aesthetic that they have with some of the other things, but yeah. So there's that messaging gallery. Nothing. Got our files, of course. Images and so on. Let's see, we can see, let's see what options we have here. Nothing much there. Just your basic USB preferences. Of course, it has charging only on by default. Contacts, we can add a contact. Pretty standard, pretty standard. Okay. Let's see, our clock app, it looks pretty standard. Basic Android clock app. Okay, here's the special O camera app. It looks pretty similar to like your regular Google app or Photos Google camera app, but it's not quite the same. So they've pulled off over a lot of the same functionality. We can do our grid, we can do the flash, auto flash, torch or no torch, 16:9 because we're messed up. We have the option to turn on location settings, but that's off by default, as sensible as that is. You've got your gyroscope. We can add rules, angles, and so on. Image quality adjustment, and so on, and our save location. So now all we have to do is bonk, and we can keep that. So if I pull out a little bit, let's go back to there. And so we've also got our video option, and then we've got our QR code scanner option, or barcode scanner option in general. You can see we've got a whole list of things, options there. Okay. Let's change our wallpaper just for fun. Okay. And we've got different options for our colors we can pick. So, let's see. Where's our dark mode, by the way? Not here. Turn on our themed icons. 5x5 is our biggest, bestest grid. So yeah, our icons are themed now and so on. Calculator, basic calculator app. You should be pretty used to it by now. Let's see, our phone dialer. Pretty basic. Let's see. Calyx has a special section for like emergency or special numbers. So like for abuse hotlines and so on, and it keeps those like off the call logs. So you've got those numbers built in on CalyxOS. It doesn't look like you quite have that for Graphene. So yeah, create new contact. We've already been halfway through the settings app. Then through gallery, looked at contacts briefly, calculator. Okay, so Vanadium. This is the Chromium fork that they use. No thanks. So it's a really basic page. Let's go to settings. About Vanadium. So let's see. Autofill. So it doesn't look like there is a built-in ad block like you have with Chromite. So Calyx has Chromite implemented as the default web browser, or a browser Chromium based on Chromite. And Chromite is based on Bromite, which has basically built-in ad blocking. And so I'm kind of halfway disappointed that that was not put in here. But yeah. Let's enable dark theme. So I'm not too heartbroken over the fact that it's not there, but I should probably go to that one instead. Okay, so Vanadium. It's not too good a quality. I don't know why the quality isn't the best, but yeah. So yeah, Vanadium. Oh, settings, dialer. It's all the things you're used to. PDF Viewer's one that's slightly different, that you actually see in the app tray rather than just being there. And again, some of these apps are default Android apps, which I think could have been like implemented better, or well, changed to fit the theme of Graphene for the rest of it. But alas, here we are. So contacts. It's all, if you've used any of like Android in the past few years, you're pretty familiar with these. Again, camera app is going to be pretty similar to what you get with Google Camera. And then the calculator, you've seen that a million times. Okay, the last two is the auditor and the apps. So auditor, let's see, 2 devices. Okay. So this is for device attestation. Yeah. Android developer previews aren't supported. Schedule remote verification. Okay. So yeah. And then apps. So this is, I believe, the tray where you can install all the other services in here for it. So you can keep your Graphene apps updated. We can install an update for Vanadium from here, which is nice. It's nice that it's actually that small, because a lot of the Chromium forks are like 150 megabytes. Even Firefox is that big for mobile. But yeah. See, try Chrome library. It's got to download that. That's probably why it's so big overall, is because it's downloading dependencies rather than the browser itself, come to think of it. Come on, Pixel. Don't do this to me. We are installing everything. Okay. So now we've also got our Android Auto and our Google Play services. So let's see. So you do have like the updates up here when you go into it. Settings, check for updates. Auto update apps is enabled. So we could install that. But I believe what we can do... Go to multiple users. Okay, so now that we've done that, next, skip, start. Now we can go into apps. We can install Google Play Services, install. Okay, so they do sandbox it, I guess. So that, I believe, yeah, that's probably the shell in essence that locks it into its sandbox and tells it how to play fair with the OS. I might have to go back the other side and install it there, but and then get rid of the user. So yeah, you can install Google Play Services pretty easy. You can install Google Auto, Markup, Image Editor for stock PixelOS, and then Android Auto. And so yeah, that's kind of like the first bit. Let me kind of want it to finish installing real quick. Okay, so right now, installing Google Play Services is kind of being funky, so I'm going to leave it there. GrapheneOS just looks pretty basic. If I could go in and install like Droidify pretty easily, and I would have most everything I need right there, install micro G and things like that, and it would actually probably work pretty flawlessly considering. So I'm going to leave it there. I think the better option I would go with is installing micro G on this puppy, and then using GrapheneOS from there. But yeah, it's your standard Android comes with the default like very bare bones environment, and which basically leans into being pretty light. So yeah, nothing more to say. If you enjoyed the video, then like, comment, subscribe, feed the algorithm, boost the video up, share this video with your friends. If you found it informative or you just want to chat, I've got plenty of places in the description, Discord, Guilded, and what have you. Check those out, and I will see you guys in the next one.